Greetings, Keishlings. Keishan Prime here with my review of One Piece chapter 910. Now to Wano. I had to look at my notes. I don't know what's up with Oda's naming. Like, you had Reverie starts or begins, and then immediately after that chapter, nothing. And this one, we do see Reverie still going on, so but still it's kind of weird, some of the names. But anyway, cover story, we're still with Orlumbus. Kind of surprised by that, but anyway, he has made landfall on the island that he was attacking last chapter. And turns out it's a poor little town, which is the reason why the buildings looked weird. They're literally like stapled together. So they're so poor, and he's like, I was once poor. Here, let me give you some food. And, you know, so he's helped out the citizens and all that. Then we're back on the seas with the Straw Hats. The news coup have just arrived with today's paper. Nami's reading it. She's explaining the Reverie to anyone who didn't know what it was. Probably mostly just Luffy, but Chopper, maybe Carrot, I don't know. Sanji and Brook probably knew. You know, so explaining, you know, it's in Marijoa. But like the big thing was that the Ryukyu kingdom showed up. You know, you got King Neptune, the princes, and Shirahoshi, and Luffy was like, you mean that little sissy, or that big sissy in this case, Sissy Hoshi, you know, was brave enough to come to the surface? Maybe she's getting stronger, you know. And she mentions that, you know, Garp was the one who escorted them and all that. And Sanji's just kind of all over the place, like, pretty princess is all in the newspaper, to the point where Nami was like, yeah, get out of the way. I can't read. So they're just kind of crowding around, you know, like, we haven't seen Vivi in so long, and they're seeing the pictures that are in the paper of, like, the bodyguards, the assembled royals, all that kind of stuff. And we see Vivi, or not Vivi, but Viola, sorry, Wample. They didn't even call Dalton the right name. They called him Acorn Guy. I don't even remember that being a thing. If anything, I thought they would misname Wample. You know, they saw Sai and Rebecca, and Sanji's just kind of freaking out. It's like, all these princesses who know me, I bet they're all getting worked up talking about me. And Nami points out to Chopper that Dr. Cora Ha is there, and he was so happy. And Sanji's like, she's still alive? Which, kick to the face, you know, from Chopper, as you would expect. It was more or less his mother mentor figure, so yeah, he's going to be protective of her. They start cutting out the pictures from the paper before Nami even got to finish reading it, which she mentions that there is a thing going on about Kaido in the article she can't read because parts of it are with the pictures. So she's like, give them back, and they ain't. And then Luffy mentions that, like, there is or he mentions that it's like, you know, when we get done sailing around the world, let's go back to all those places. That sounds fun. And upon my reread, I was like, something about this seems like maybe this could be epilogue material. Like, and because of how long One Piece has been going on and everything, the epilogue is probably not going to be reduced to just one chapter like typical manga. So, like, every chapter will cover, like, say, 3 or 4 locations, and you see, like, them reacting with their allies and all that. So I'm thinking that's what that kind of did. Then, you know, Brook's like, oh, in time. And it's like, how's the Dindin Moo? Have you contacted anyone? Luffy's like, no one's picking up, but I'm sure it's fine. I have theories about that. One of them being that, like, okay, Kaido is control of Wano right now, and he's in cahoots with the Shogun, who was probably controlling Wano, basically, until Kaido showed up. So with those two colluding powers, it kind of makes a good amount of sense that Kaido has probably some kind of jammer or something for any Dindin Mushis outside of his network, which he's probably given the officials of the Shogun and everything, because they're all corrupt monkeys. And Wano doesn't look like the place that would have Dindin Mushis in the first place. So then you have like the Straw Hats. They're probably not going to pick them up because then it would immediately out them if they're in public. So they're thinking smart. They are trying to stay undercover after all. Zoro, on the other hand, but hopefully we'll see more of that in the next chapter. But anyway, as they get closer to the country, Nami starts noticing like the weather and the waves and everything is just like so chaotic. And they're like debating on, should we just stay until things calm down? And Luffy's like, no, we keep going. And she even mentions that Kinemon had told her that, like, yeah, it's pretty difficult to get back to my homeland, so be careful. And something I noticed during the reaction, like, in the panel that you see Brooke and Nami and they're talking about the weather and everything, there's a new crew member for the moment, an octopus, which goes unnoticed for about 3 pages. And when they finally do, everyone goes crazy. No, 2 pages. 1 page and a half. Page and a half, yeah. Something like that. Anyway, he goes unnoticed for a little bit. I was surprised. So, like, it climbed aboard. It has, like, I'll have to look it up, but it's like the Japanese, like, headband kind of thing that you see. Like, people that work in a food or a restaurant or something, to keep the sweat out of their eyes, that kind of thing. Or just, construction. Anybody that really needs to keep sweat out of their eyes. Anyway, Chopper starts freaking out because a giant school of, well, not a giant school, they're giant koi fish, and it's a school of them. They're like kind of like bumping the ship and everything, and it's like, well, what's going on? Koi fish can't be in the ocean. And Sanji, being the chef that he is, he's probably cooked some koi fish or something at some point. So he knows that they're fresh water, so they can't be in the ocean, so what the hell's going on? But it's like, I don't think you need to worry about that, Sanji. I mean, they're monstrous. They're probably not quite the same. And it's like, oh, are they tasty, Sanji? You know this was Luffy. And he talks about how you prepare sashimi and, like, you can boil them or put them in a stew or stuff like that. And even tempura is pretty good. So Luffy's like, I want to eat them. So he jumps aboard one of them. And they're like, you idiot. And he's like, we got to have this when we get back together with everyone. We'll have a banquet. So Luffy is now riding atop a giant koi fish and it's swimming further and further away. And everyone's like, Luffy, why do you always do this to us? And Sanji's like, yeah, he'll be fine. Which later he is, so I mean. And the octopus is still with them, even as the seas are getting very turbulent. And it's like, furl the sails, or we're going to be destroyed in these winds. And the water is so clear. Wano is just beautiful overall. So you can see the koi fish, and they're just like staring up at them. And it's like, ugh. Those things are like the size of the boat. The Sunny wouldn't be able to stand it if they actually attacked them. So anyway, they find out that the koi fish are like swimming down what's kind of like a river current. And it's leading them along, and it's like, what are we going to do? Is Luffy even on board? Which, why did anyone ever ask that question? Fine. But, so they continue to follow the koi fish because they have no choice, and it leads them to a waterfall. And I misread something when I did my live reaction. I thought the waterfall had an upward current to it, but no, the current just leads to a waterfall, which is totally illogical. But as Sanji tried to put logic to it, I think. So they're like, we'll be destroyed if we try to go up that thing. But is Wano up there? You know? Because, like, Nami mentions that, like, for the koi fish to survive, there would have to be a large source of fresh water coming down, and it pulls into the ocean, and it dilutes the salt enough for the koi fish to survive. So they start heading closer and closer to the waterfall, and it's like, well, what are we going to do? And Luffy's like, I got an idea. So he stretches his arms out, grabs 2 koi fish, and they start heading up the waterfall, just like the koi fish that in the Japanese myth of where it goes up a waterfall after 100 years and becomes a golden dragon, being blessed by the gods for its determination. They make it up to Wano on the waterfall, though not without difficulty. You know, whirlpools and some of the currents still crazy, but the boat, or the Sunny, finally gets like beached on its side. Luffy is the only one seemingly around. He was asleep somehow. I swear, this kid. He gets woken up by Citizen Snips. So when he wakes up, he's like, what? Where is everyone? Are we even in Wano? And then something comes flying out of the forest, hits the ship. He's like, quit destroying my boat. And it's a lion dog, or dog lion. Lion dog. Also known as a... crap. I forgot what it was called. I'll put it in the video, though. But he's like, is it a dog? Is it a boar? Finds out it was fighting something in the woods, which is also another, like, yokai of Japan, though I don't think the lion dogs are yokai, but they probably are. It's like, what, another huge animal? It is the Hai, which is an old monkey that has reached such an age that it becomes like a monster, basically. It can then use like human intelligence, or has like human intelligence. It can use human weapons, like the katana that we see. And this thing is pretty big. So, yeah. Luffy might be in for a fight, and he's like, well, that thing's got a katana. I guess we're in Wano. Very stereotypical of you, Luffy, but I guess it works. I mean, can you really call Oda like a racist of his own culture? Otherwise, he wouldn't have included any of this, you know? But, so, yeah. As it was mentioned at some point in the chapter, like apparently all of these waves and stuff, even Nami didn't seem so sure about it, and it really brings to light like how Wano has stayed isolationist for so long, and why the world government doesn't even consider them like, you know, civil or anything. They're completely isolated. The government probably can't even get there even with their advanced tech. So so yeah, those royals that were talking about it in Reverie, it now makes sense, because their worldview, based on last week's chapter, is that anyone that's not aligned with the government is a poor dirt country. You know, it's ravaged by crime and famine and orphans everywhere, you know, so a lot of it comes, you know, together, you know, so... But anyway, I think that's about all I had to really say. I mean, the chapter was fun. I definitely enjoy it. The art style, I mean, the chapters are definitely getting shorter. I think this one was only like 12 pages long, if you don't count like the cover page. So I think Oda's devoting this more to the art style, because there's a lot more traditional Japanese style here than what he typically does. So I'm guessing this whole arc's going to be much shorter chapters. The arc might be long, but the chapters will be shorter nonetheless. So let's hope he doesn't tire himself out, though. But anyway, that's about all I think I have to say. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, and oh, I forgot to give it a score. I'm giving this one a I'm only going to give it a 4. I'm not being crazy. You know, it was a pretty good chapter and everything. I definitely enjoyed it, and I do like all the cultural references that they made that I could actually pick up on. But anyway, yeah. Follow me on Twitter, like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought about the chapter, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.